Here are the 3 tips for perfect lighting. The first, of course, is brightness, and most lights will let you adjust that. The second one is you need to be able to adjust the color temperature. Most lights will only give you 3 settings. You're going to get a bright white, you're going to get a warm white, and then you're going to get something in between. That's okay, but this light has a knob, which lets you dial in exactly the color temperature that you need. Now that is really important, especially if you're going to be up close to the camera, doing things like makeup. And the third thing to get right is the placement of your light. You do not want it directly in front of you where you're looking because it's going to show up in your glasses. Even if you don't wear glasses, it's going to reflect in your eyes, which is really distracting. So you want it to be up higher than that. And something that I really like about this light is this extends up to 79 inches, which is really high and allows you to get it up out of the way. If I tilt my head backwards, you'll actually be able to see my light, which coincidentally is another one of these because they're just that good. Now, 2 other things about this light that are just really nice to have is the first one is it has a remote control that allows you to adjust all of its different settings. That means that I can stand in front of the camera like I'm doing now and I can see the effects and make all the changes that I need to instead of having to walk around to the light and make them and go back and forth. It's a huge time saver. And the other thing is this plate style base. I really like this because if you're working in a tight space like I am, you don't trip over this one like you do with the tripod style stands. And that's why this light has an incredible 4.9 star rating. Lighting is just so important to get right. And if you'd like to get one of these or just learn more about them, I'll drop that orange link below for you so you can. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you.